Why, Larsson? Is Bitcoin only a measly 104,000 United States dollars? So little? Well, here's a video I posted 4 years ago in April 2020, just below 10,000. So Bitcoin up 20% in one day, and it's plus 150% in little over 5 weeks. Plus 150%, that is 2.5 times up. Someone asked me on my personal Facebook yesterday, is this year? Yes, it's this year, it's happening now. I watched the video back now and I did say a few good things there actually. So, was the Bitcoin narrative right all along? World economy is in turmoil, oil futures were in the negative, unlimited money printing in the US, we have countries with hyperinflation, banks literally burning. And I mean, this was the promise that Bitcoin promised to solve, a modern, non-inflationary world currency, like digital gold. So is this the explanation, that people suddenly realized that Bitcoin that can't be inflated, that can't be manipulated, was right all along? Or is it the halving narrative? Halving means that the Bitcoin miners will be paid half as much Bitcoin for securing the network, and that halving event will be around May 12. Many say that since the miners will have less Bitcoin to sell, there will be less sell pressure on the market, and that should lead to an upwards movement in the price. Probably a little bit of both true. But I think there is another main explanation to this enormous surge in price that we have seen these past 5 weeks. Let's head back to the office and look at the charts. The Bitcoin and the S&P 500 have followed each other exactly. What could turn out to be a symmetrical triangle. And the upper boundary to break through, depending on when it happens, will be between 10 and 11,000. That symmetrical triangle that I showed was here. And it broke out perfectly and shot up at over 60,000 at that time. I also said to not get too hung up on the details. So guys, these are exciting times, even if not nailing this perfectly, which I didn't do this time. I still made a lot of money on this move. So guys, start paying attention, educate yourself. Don't listen to the buzz, make your own opinions, steer your own ships, get tools and skills. Now in retrospective, it didn't matter if you bought here at 4,100 or 4,300, or even if you slept for 2 years and only woke up here and bought at 8,000, because price now is over $100,000. So you won regardless. And I'll say the same things today as I said then. Don't get too hung up on the details. Did I enter here or there? Did I miss it? Instead, focus on the process. Focus on the improvement. Try to get a little bit better every week, every month, every year, because something massive is happening. That's even bigger than the Bitcoin chart. I've talked about it before with you here on YouTube, I've posted about it a lot, but I think that the magnitude of the change coming is so monumental that it's hard to take in. This guy here, I've replaced 100% of my marketing and sales department with AI in 2024. It's literally just me, AI agents, AI wrappers and AI workflows now. My goal for 2025 is to replace 90% of support operations and the rest. Here's software development job postings in the United States, with tech companies doing all-time highs. Sam Altman wrote this in 2021, before ChatGPT. AI will cause the price of work that can happen in front of a computer to decrease much faster than the price of work that can happen in the physical world. Of course, Sam Altman saw this coming. And here is Geoffrey Hinton, who is the godfather of AI. Let's listen to what he says.
Yes, I'm very worried about AI taking over lots of mundane jobs, and that should be a good thing. It's going to lead to a big increase in productivity, which leads to a big increase in wealth. And if that wealth was equally distributed, that would be great. But it's not going to be. In the systems we live in, that wealth is going to go to the rich and not to the people whose jobs get lost. And that's going to be very bad for society, I believe. So it's going to increase the gap between rich and poor.
Hinton is, of course, Nobel Prize winner, Turing Award winner. The dude is 77 years old. Lot of respect. So what he is saying is that because of what Sam wrote here, dramatic drop in cost for work in front of a computer means big increase in productivity and profits. But where do those profits go? They do not go to the people who lose their jobs. It goes to the owner of the company as increased dividends, increased wealth for the owners, those rich. So what you have to do is, number one, to realize that your safe office job isn't safe. You will be disrupted. Number two, you need to climb the food chain. And you should climb it as high and as fast as you can. Because with more and more AI agents, the leverage for the people at the top massively increases. But climbing to the, say, C-level of a big company, if you're currently a back-end engineer, is pretty difficult. In fact, I would argue that it is easier to climb even higher. Climb all the way to the top, because that's where most of those profits will end up anyway. At the top is the investor. So the conclusion from all this is that learning to invest better is the best time spent that you can do now or in 2025. I realized this around 2017. That's when I got it, that I was in fact at the wrong place. Even though I had actually climbed pretty high in that pyramid and I had one of the best jobs in the world, but I realized that I should use those skills at a different place in the value chain going forward, which I did. So, investor or barista, guys, two solid tracks, while your current office job might not be. Solana. If you spent any time here in 2024, you've heard me say this a million times, that the level to watch for Solana has been the 0.002 support on the SOL to BTC chart. Yesterday, we hit it again at 0.01999. So if you bought that with 1000x leverage, congrats. That's a joke. Don't use high leverage. But it's Cesar said, for the past 7 years, everyone's a gangster until... Exactly. Everyone's a gangster until it's time to buy support. Everyone's a gangster until it's time to buy at support. Now what's probably happening is that a lot of the pump.fun is unwinding into a lot of other projects. Because there are a lot of projects that's doing interesting stuff now. And I'm very satisfied that we got Larsson Pro portfolios together this year. So next year will be quite different for me. I'll spend most of my time researching projects again, which is where I started and always enjoyed so much. And the Pro portfolios is the way that I can share that outcome in a way that becomes actionable without doing recommendations, which I'm not doing, and without doing long-term predictions about the future. Because it's a losing approach for early stage technology. It's much better to have a reactive approach when the assets are actually liquid. Most beginners sadly won't understand what that even means, but it is the truth, and it's never been clearer than it is now. I found that project Haven XHV, which had come up with an idea for an algorithmic stablecoin, a groundbreaking idea at the time, and I quite immediately saw, oh, that's a great idea. In fact, it was so good that another project called Luna copied their idea and then rode that up to $40 billion market cap. Luna went up 10,000x. Then Luna changed the idea, improved on it, and introduced the BTC collateral, which opened them to different price manipulation strategies, sending it into collapse. Of course, other reasons too, mismanagement and so on, but that was the key thing. XHV didn't do as much, but still from here up to here was 200x, and I think it was in total about 1000x from when I first mentioned it. CoinMarketCap doesn't have the whole price history. So, a life-changing ride for many. Then several things happened around here. Things that are hard to predict. One guy told me that the lead person in the project suffered a personal tragic health issue. Things you just can't predict. But it's decentralized. Yes, but no. Leadership matters. Just look at Charles Hoskinson or any other project. Next, the implementation got too complex, I think. They suffered hacks of the protocol many times. Also, they branded themselves as a privacy token based on Monero, even though they actually had view keys and so on. But privacy became a bad word during the years here under the old administration. So delistings everywhere. Now privacy might come back as a good thing in 2025. New administration. All those things. Health, hacks, which direction the policy wind is blowing. Pretty difficult to predict over long periods of time. So this project, after doing 100x, 1000x, then went into a massive downtrend and went minus 100.00%. All the charts are gone now from TradingView, but it's still here in Larsson Pro, and blue. Wear your HODL Sucks socks, guys, at least for altcoins. I know that everyone wants to hear. Just tell me a list of coins or stocks. But as you saw here, it's not enough. Because if you bought and hodled, you lost everything. While if you follow the trend process, you made life-changing gains and kept them. That's why a list of coins in isolation is useless. It needs to be attached to tools for consistency. It doesn't have to be my tools, my process, but you need something. If you hate me and my tools, don't go to ctolarsson.com and don't press here for course and indicator or here for Larsson Pro. Next year, I'm really looking forward to continue this work I've started now with the Pro portfolios. Really digging into the depth of a lot of new exciting projects. And I will share a lot of the findings with you here on YouTube as well. Then it will be very exciting to see what happens if we get up here to this outer support. Will we see a raise up to, 100,000 or what will happen? I think we have an epic period ahead in the markets, and don't worry too much about the details. Instead, zoom out and see that we're actually up 10x over the past 4 years and more if you follow the trends. Thank you, tack. CTO Larsson out.